used to get so mad when people would like comment negative stuff on my Instagram posts, specifically, like my marriage stuff, my family stuff with my kids, my relationship. When we would share things like that, and people would just have like negative opinions, and they used to like trigger me so much because essentially it's like the internet trolls, the people are like they like calling you a liar basically. And I just used to be like a small dog that just wanted to kind of like bark back. And obviously like you're sharing babe, can you turn that down a little bit? You're sharing like something that is precious to you, something that's special to you, that takes courage, that takes like fearlessness, to put yourself out there to be judged publicly. And I kind of had to I talked to Corey about it, and I had to really ask myself, number one, why is it bothering me? And because that is the most important thing to me, is my family, my marriage, my children. But it dawned on me that I didn't even grow up believing that the family dynamic that I have was possible. I never experienced that in my own home with my parents. I didn't experience that. I didn't have those expectations for marriage, for family, myself. And I think one of the questions that we get asked so much is, what's the hardest part of marriage, or like what struggles do you guys experience? Because obviously on Instagram we're not sharing or setting up the camera when we are talking to our kids or parenting and having hard conversations or disagreements and stuff like that. And it doesn't mean that it doesn't happen, but I really believe that a part of growing and elevating and living the life you want to live is to focus on the things that you do love, and focus on the things that are important and that bring joy and that bring growth and love. And so I guess it's natural for people to wonder, what do y'all struggle with? What are the challenges that you faced? And honestly, I think one of the biggest challenges in any relationship is growing as an individual, being accountable for yourself and the way you show up in life, wanting to learn, wanting to get better, wanting to grow. And in a marriage, in a partnership, in a relationship, in a friendship, is putting that person first. Like putting yourself first in your own journey and your goals. But when it comes to how you communicate, how you love your partner, really being willing to love someone in their love language, to help them grow, to grow with them. But I said a minute ago how I really didn't have expectations for a marriage. I think a lot of people go into relationships with their expectations set, and I really didn't have an example or a reference or a guide to create those type of expectations for my marriage or for my relationship or for my man or for my husband. But I don't think expectations are important. I think expectations can actually be a setup. What is important, what I did have in place, is standards. And standards and expectations are so different, because standards are what I not necessarily expect from someone else, but it's what I require. Standards are what I require of myself, and standards are what I am willing and unwilling to tolerate in any situation. That means where I shop, where I eat, what type of work I do, the friendships that I have, the people that I surround myself with, how I take care of myself. And that is going to carry over into any relationship that I have. My marriage being the number one example. I have standards. So before, me and Corey always say, like, if we knew each other before 30, or if we dated before the age 30, we did not date. You are a childhood friend. But I mean, and we got married at 24, so like that kind of makes that whole statement null. But you understand what I'm saying. And we both had those standards individually. We kind of decided, even in dating, that this ain't it. When it's not it, you just know, like, this ain't it. But if you don't have standards, you kind of find yourself settling into situations that aren't meeting your expectations, because your expectations are for someone else to fulfill. But your standards set the tone for you to say, this ain't it. And I don't think that anyone, whether it's a job, a relationship, a body, a lifestyle, we don't get what we really want until we're willing to say no to everything that's not that. That's standards.